Hey everybody, Ernie here, Paleo Hiker MD, and today we're going to start a new series on the channel, and it's a series that I'm hoping to be able to do every week. Now, I'm pretty busy day to day, so I'm not sure if I'll be able to do it every week, but my goal is to try to do a new gear review every Wednesday and try to publish that on the YouTube channel. Now, that, like I said, that may or may not happen, but we're going to try our best to do that. Now, these reviews will be focused on pieces of gear that I either have used on a day-to-day basis or I've just purchased and I plan on using as much as possible. Now, today we're going to talk about a wood stove, in particular the Vargo titanium Hexagon wood stove. I got this probably a couple of weeks ago. Haven't really had a chance to mess around with it very much. I did do an unboxing video, which is up on the channel, but today we're going to take it out. We're going to look at the specifications of it, we'll look at the weight and everything, and then we're going to take it outside. We're going to put some wood in it. We're going to fire it up, and we're going to take my Tokes 750 milliliter titanium pot and try to boil 2 cups of water. See how long it takes, see how it performs. So I hope you guys will join me today as I take a pretty in-depth look at the Vargo titanium Hexagon wood stove. Here we go. All right guys, so this is how you're going to receive your wood stove. It's got a nice cover to it, and you get into it by just undoing this Velcro. Now before we get too into it, let's get our scale over here. Y'all can see it's zeroed out, so we're going to put this on here. On the Vargo web page, I'm looking at it right now, it gives a weight of 4.1 ounces for the titanium stove and 7.4 ounces for the stainless steel stove. Now this is coming up 4.95 ounces, so let's take it out of its case. I'll show y'all how that works real quick. It's got a nice little pull tab here. You just open it up, pull it out. It's completely folded, as y'all can see. We'll put it on the scale, and we're getting 4.3 ounces. So just a little bit higher, 0.2 ounces higher than the specifications on the web page. Now, as far as how to put this together, very simple. You just open this up and you start twirling around. This locks in here. It locks together very easily, and it comes apart very easily, and it has a very nice little front door, which allows access for putting in extra wood or whatever it might be. It has very good ventilation on the bottom. You can see also that when standing, it has a good degree of clearance from the ground to add good ventilation. As far as specifications go on dimensions, the bottom is 5 inches across. The top is 3 inches in diameter or across, and the height total is 4 inches. Now, again, the factory says 4.1 ounces or 116 grams. We're getting just north of that at 4.3 ounces. For those who are curious, the stainless steel, as I said, is 7.4 ounces and 210 grams. So this is the general look. It does weigh very little. We're going to take it outside now. We're going to start it up. We're going to see how it performs getting 2 cups of water boiling in my titanium cook pot. So let's head outside and see. All right guys, so I'm going to try to light this up. I'm going to try to use my ferro rod here and see if I can catch a spark pretty easily. All right guys, so what I'm going to do to light this, it's a pretty windy day, so I really feel like I probably need something to catch the spark pretty well, and I'm using the fire kit that you guys saw in my video for my everyday carry. And what I'm going to grab is some petroleum jelly coated cotton balls. We're going to put that there, and we're going to try to light it up. So let's see what we get. Put it into my What we'll want to do is try to get a nice bed of embers so that we can continue to feed the bigger, drier logs to actually boil our water. Alright guys, so we have a pretty good little fire going here, and as soon as this kind of calms down, I'm going to push these in completely, and I'm going to get our Toaks 750 milliliter pot put right on top, and I'm going to set a timer, see how long it takes to get this thing to a boil. Alright guys, so lesson number one, I wasn't paying very much attention, and I didn't let it go out, but I certainly didn't aid my cause. So just keep an eye on it, make sure that there's plenty of wood there. I let the fresh wood kind of run out, so I'm having to kind of restoke it a little bit, but nonetheless, we'll get it to boil soon. Still working really well. All right guys, so despite my efforts to mess this up, we're still getting a good flame, and we're going to keep it going and see how we look. Just taking a peek inside, we're definitely getting some bubbles at the bottom, so this is going to be a pretty slow boil, but that is completely user error. Learned already a little bit about how to use the wood. I think it's important that you cut the wood to small enough size. I guess when I was putting these pieces together, I didn't realize just how small the stove is. You really want to have pieces that can fit in easily, and I've already made some adjustments with my wood here, and it's working a lot better, so we'll see how it goes. All right guys, so we're still rolling along. We've got kids going crazy in the background here. We've got a gentleman who's just mercilessly shooting his AR-15 in the background somewhere back there. But we've got plenty of wood in here, and we're going to keep it going. Like I said, it's taking a little longer than it probably should, and that's completely user error from me having too big of pieces. The other major thing I figured out is I figured maybe closing the door would be best, but actually letting the air in really makes a difference, getting the oxygen in there to get the burn going. You can see just now I put those pieces in and just opening the door, a good burst of air, and it just ignited. So the two biggest things I've learned so far are make sure you cut the wood to the right size to fit in well, and second is to leave that door open when you're trying to get wood to ignite, to allow plenty of oxygen in there. So we're getting there, we're almost there, so we'll keep going. All right guys, so we're rolling along. We have got some pretty big bubbles coming and a pretty good fire going. Pretty pleased so far with how it's performing. Looks like it's probably going to take about 12-13 minutes to get a water boil, which is of course longer than I would expect if I made a fire a little bit more proficiently. But currently we're doing really well, so we'll finish up here. All right, so you guys can see I just experimenting a little bit, close that door kind of halfway, and it's really allowing plenty of oxygen in, but also allowing more flames to be directed towards the pot. So as I'm kind of getting my system down here, I'm thinking you feed it, let it light up, and then close the door about halfway, just to allow enough oxygen in there, but also to keep enough of the flame in to allow it to get to the pot really easily. So we're almost there now, just kind of experiment as we go along and learn along the way. All right guys, and there it is. We have a full rolling boil now, thanks to our fire down there. So that pretty much concludes our test. I'm going to run through the things that we learned during our test, and then we'll finish up here. But I appreciate you guys hanging in there during this kind of experimentation, but we got ourselves a boil and we're happy with it so far. All right guys, so that finishes up our look at the Vargo Hexagon titanium wood stove. As y'all can see, it performed very well. This is the first time I actually lighted up, and I was very pleased with how it performed. So why get a stove like this? Why is it something that I would even consider? I've got, as you've seen in some of my other videos, I've got a cat can stove that I use with alcohol. I also have an MSR pocket rocket. Why get a wood stove? Well, I think it's pretty simple. This particular wood stove sits, when I'm not backpacking with it, it sits in my bug out bag, family bug out bag. And the reason is simple, is there's wood everywhere. I live in Louisiana, there's wood everywhere, and it really is almost an indefinite amount of fuel. The same thing on a backpacking trip. Let's say that I forget to put a new fuel canister in, or I spill my alcohol, or I run out of alcohol. Well, I never run out of wood out in the woods. and it allows me to continue to heat up water or cook things whenever I need to, even with just a lighter and wood that I sourced out in the field. So that's why I own it. I do highly recommend this stove. I think it's well made. I think it's going to live up to what it's supposed to do very well. I'll post a further review down the line in 6 or 9 months after I use it more in the field. But so far, so good. I'm very pleased with it. So if you're interested in it, just let me know. Drop a comment down below if you have any specific questions about it. Otherwise, just follow on our adventures. I'm sure we'll be using it along the way. And I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Like, subscribe, comment, post, do whatever you need to do. Just interact with us so we can continue to produce more videos, and we're really enjoying it along the way. So appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for our next episode, hopefully next Wednesday with another gear review. Thanks.